Hi there, welcome to Bible/Chat. Jason, hi.
Hey.
These are happy days. It's raining torrentially outside.
Very rainy outside.
We just got a new mask mandate from Governor Newsom.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about psychological medication. It's a good day.
It could get worse.
Hey, so you've been studying psychology and
Yeah.
biblical counseling.
Yeah.
And you've been, and one of the classes you took was on, or some of the class that you
definitely
took on,
talks about this issue.
Yeah, psychology and medication.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just help us understand the way that a biblical counselor would think about medications.
Yeah.
Are they wrong?
Yeah.
Are they mostly wrong? Are they sometimes wrong? Are they never wrong? What are your thoughts on that?
That, or I think right there tells you that it's not a black and white issue. You know, it's a very... we have to be wise and careful about it and not act like we know everything about it, but also not put our feet in the, like, we're head in the sand and just capitulate to the culture, the secular medical community who wants to medicate everything now. You know, literally everything pretty much has a medication to it. Because it all boils down to, like, anxiety or depression.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you know, sad to say, and we are an over-medicated society. The opioid crisis just tells us that. And that's not a Christian thing. That's just like the world knows that this is a major health crisis. That doctors have been prosecuted.
Absolutely.
For just like dispensing
even
oxy,
recently.
You know? So the short answer is no. I think biblical counseling is not against medicine, science, doc checkups, using the latest medications in a generic global sense. Absolutely not. You know, get a checkup.
We would encourage those things.
Get healthy as you can. The issue with mental health and medications for that is that issue that in the mind, we're talking about, again, emotional states, soul, heart, as opposed to, like, is it a real brain malfunction? Is it an actual organic disease that then led to those kinds of behaviors and emotions? As opposed to that seeming brain malfunction is coinciding with anxiety, depression. You know, is it causation or correlation? You know,
absolutely.
And I think in a lot of cases that's where we get into trouble because we call it causation when it's actually just correlation. Of course, if someone's severely depressed for a while and they're not dealing with it biblically, you take a scan of that person's brain, it will look different. Maybe not in every case. You know, I can't speak. But it will look different from a quote-unquote normal person, mentally healthy person, or just a emotionally, spiritually thriving person. So all that to say, we're not against medicine. It's not anti-science, not at all. But when it comes to the areas of the heart, mind, motives, desires, the soul, you want to be careful about just not, like, just being totally free with psychotropic drugs.
Gotcha. So one thing, as a quick caveat there, so before we keep going, because there's some other follow-up questions to that, but you said a person, if you take a scan of a person's brain who's in the midst of depression, anxiety, severe depression, anxiety, not dealing with those things well spiritually, it will look different.
Of course.
So what you're saying is that the spiritual can actually lead to organic changes.
Somatic, like the spiritual somatic or psychosomatic. I mean, when you're afraid, your heart rate goes up.
Totally.
And if you're in constant anxiety, your blood pressure is going up.
Totally.
And it'll affect all sorts of other things, right? And that's just a given, you know?
Absolutely.
You'll be more fatigued. It'll wear on your body. And that is just the reality of our, you know, we are inner and outer man all in one. And those two are
one melded whole.
It's like, so absolutely. That's why we want to make sure if it's an organic thing, hey, get it checked out. We'll do whatever it takes to deal with that organic issue. Again and again, we have to say, once you cross over into areas where it's not an organ or tissue or true physiological malfunction or disease, which disease used to mean, like, it's caused by an organic dysfunction. You know, it's not just... So that's where we want to be very cautious about what we're taking, why we're taking it, and knowing what those drugs are actually intended to do.
What the purpose is. Okay, so then you kind of said at the end there, you were like, well, we're not ruling it out, we're not excluding it per se, and that there are some cases where there's a potential that could happen. Maybe could you give us like a few, maybe like fences around where you would see that? I know that's complex, but
one fence would be if the person's already on it. I know that's a little, I'm trying to, it sounds like I'm evading that.
That's actually a very helpful answer.
But if they're already on it, no biblical counselor, when they're doing biblical counseling, should not act like a doctor, think like a doctor, pretend they're a doctor, don't give any medical advice like that.
We're not going to make any kind of...
get off that drug, get on that drug. You know, and I think even doctors who are biblical counselors don't want to do that. They have to wear different hats.
Yeah.
Come to see me as a doctor, then I'll give you medical advice.
Yeah.
You know, and some of that might bleed into their counseling, but I think you want to be very careful because even just legally, you can get into a lot of trouble if you mess around with that and say, just get off the drug. And the person, like, I mean, the Lord forbid, commits suicide.
Yeah.
You could be liable for that.
Totally.
So just be careful. I would say the fence is, it's interesting. Like, medication is dispensed so quickly. I would say, like, in most cases, or many cases, it seems like it's generalized anxiety, generalized depression. You know, like, let's pause on the quick trigger to seek a drug and deal with the heart. You know, so in terms of offense, like, there are cases, and this is the thing, like, I don't know everything. Nobody knows. There are severe, like, I mean, schizophrenic cases. I mean, other like, psychotic episodes that people have. And for me to say, no, you can't take medicine there. Who am I? I don't know.
That's insanity to try.
Yeah, for some of those cases, that they may need it. Not just that, like, it may be but, like, they may truly require that drug.
Totally.
I would not feel comfortable deciding that.
Yeah.
Let the doctor and then you with your spouse or whoever, you know, just carefully evaluate it.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to your pastors, you know, and see what they think and move forward. I'd say, like, take the medicine into your own hands and, like, research, study it, know what you're putting into your body. That stuff is, you know, it's powerful.
Yeah.
So if it's not like an more extreme case, and even for those I don't know, you know, I would say consult doctors, consult others, right? And research on your own.
Yeah.
I'd say in the vast majority of the cases, we're talking about, like, generalized anxiety, depression, things of that nature. It's just, you know, I can't say it's a sin for you to take it.
Right.
You know, I just can't say that.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And I can't say you must take it.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck. You know?
Yeah.
So we want to be in the middle in the sense that, well, we want to leave it up to your conscience before the Lord, prayerfully consider.
Yeah.
You know?
With pastoral care.
Although, to be honest, like, I would be more on the cautious side.
Yeah.
You know, I would want to be like, let's slow it down. Like, that is not, as long as you understand that's not the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've heard people say, like, in extreme cases, you take it and it helps you, then you can kind of, like, have some level of clarity.
Yeah.
Then you can actually deal with the heart issue.
Yeah, totally.
Say, I mean, you know, I understand that. We want to be sympathetic and compassionate and, like, you know, and biblical counseling can sometimes be caricatured as being, like, just backwards and, you know, hates science and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
which we're not saying in any way.
Yeah, we just want to be real careful with that. So I'd say, like, sometimes you might need it, and then you can have, like, you're able to have a clear mind or whatever, like, breathing room. Yeah. So that then, all right, let's really deal with the issues that are leading to that kind of fear or panic. Let's get into that biblically. Yeah. You know, and I'm not here to, like, just yank you off of medication. No. Lord willing, I want you to wean off of it, though. Yeah. But, like, that is not even the ultimate issue. Yeah. So that's how I would. Yeah, that's very helpful. Yeah. I mean, I think it is a kind of a case-by-case basis, carefully really walking. Yeah. I think what I'm kind of hearing you say is that there's, like, a reticence to just accept secular direction when it comes to that. You know, like, hey, just try some of these meds. Let's see which one works. We'll fix this problem for you. Yeah. It's not the same as, like, you know, a torn meniscus or not at all. Malfunctioning kidney. It's something where we have to say, like, hey, be patient, be careful on just taking whatever the doctor prescribes at that point, because there is, in a secular worldview, as you said 2 videos ago, there is a totally different foundation about how those things play themselves out. So we want to come at it as a Christian first and as a patient second. Exactly. Yeah, that even our bodies and their misfiring or malfunctioning or any of that stuff, if it's, you know, that's all in the Lord's hands. Totally. And all the circumstances and even our family upbringing, everything, even maybe genetics that have kind of, like, give us a bent towards being sad or give us a bent towards this or that, right? It expresses itself that way. The fallen nature expressing itself that way. That's all in the Lord's hands too. Totally. You know? And so the problem is, like, I think because of such, like, it's just in the water now. Yeah. It is the water. We don't even think about it. It's so hard to extricate ourselves and actually like reframe everything biblically and go, wait a minute. Like, what are they actually saying when they prescribe this medication and they call it this? Yeah. You know, and it's a changing science and it's so fluid. And again, I think I said this in the first video, those pamphlets that come with the medications are not definitive. Yeah. And that's, like, it's a little concerning, you know? So, And just know that within even the secular community, like there is intramural debate about these things with the psychotropic issues and medications.
Yeah.
So that already it tells you there's not it looks like there's a consensus, but there are also dissenting voices and concerns, and also like a lot of like, well, maybe. Yeah. Some people, not everyone.
Yeah, some confusion.
Yeah, we don't even exactly know how it all works with SSRIs, for example, to use one type of medication. No one in that community says 100% this is the definitive, this is the silver bullet. Yeah. That fixes depression, and no one says 100% we know exactly why. Yeah. They can't. Yeah. Because they don't know. And that's not because I'm a medical expert. Yeah. By the way.
Of course, yeah. It's interesting because I think even people who've gone through this process, who have been on medications, have found that the doctors will prescribe one, try it for a month, go to a different one, try it for a month, and see which one works. Yeah. But it's working based on symptom response as opposed to like working based on actual change in physical substance, like a substantive change in the person.
That's the thing. I mean, not to get too sciencey, but there's no test that can measure that brain chemistry stuff, which is the prevailing, I don't want to say myth, but the prevailing like hypothesis is that, but it can't actually be measured.
Yeah, totally.
That's why the language is tentative. Totally. About how antidepressants, for example, work.
And even watching that take place.
Yeah, and then people have to struggle through that, and that's why they bounce from medication to medication, because you're trying to like just throw things at the wall and see what'll stick.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously someone who's struggling deeply with anxiety or depression, like we want to be as compassionate as possible. Absolutely. We understand how painful that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't want to make light of that or say like, oh, it's not a big deal, just push through. You don't need this stuff. Just the opposite. We want to acknowledge those things, but then offer hope in a place where it isn't just kind of throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. We want to offer hope with truth and spiritual realities. Yeah. So
we don't want to come off like, all right, our goal is to get you off of medication.
Yeah. No.
You know, like that may be one goal, but like to make it all about that, I think we're fighting the wrong battle. Totally. At that point. And then it just becomes, I think that can easily become like a personal attack, totally. Whether we meant it or not, and just want to be careful and say the goal is actually Christ-likeness. Yeah. And eventually, like however the Lord works that out, typically I think people then end up weaning off of it. Yeah. Typically, I can't say in every case, but I think generally, over time, whatever the issue or medication might be, it's just as counselors, not doctors and scientists or anything like that. We want to be careful about our tone, our language, presuming that we have the answers for everything. Totally. We just want to point them to Scripture, help them in their hearts, help them to deal with sin and those issues when they arise, and really, in a sense, not worry so much about the medication. Yeah, like totally. We don't even have to really talk about it that much.
That's like a side issue, and it'll eventually work itself out. Yeah. If the spiritual realities are happening.
Exactly. So just focus on the heart, motives, Christ, give them hope through the gospel. Apply the gospel specifically, concretely. Help them repent specifically, concretely. Help them, walk in faith concretely. Yeah, totally. And just love them through that, but don't worry about all the other stuff. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's unimportant, but if that main thing, the heart with the gospel, is not there, it doesn't matter if they get off medication or on.
Totally. So. Well, it's super helpful. Thanks for your wisdom on that. And obviously, as he said several times in the conversation, we are not doctors. We're not. Yeah, and so we don't want to give you any medical advice whatsoever. There's no desire to do that. And so if you're watching this video and you think, oh, that's medical advice, please understand that's not our desire. We want you to get counsel from your doctor and move in that direction with elders of your local church. And so just want to emphasize that as clearly as possible. Speak to the elders of your local church, and then speak directly to your doctor about some of these issues. Thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, you can always email us at info@faithbibleoc.org. Thanks so much.